What is going on? Welcome to ednews.com. It's your host, EJ Carrion, and really excited because I think I'm going to try to spin something different here on these videos. I really want to get to doing this daily and giving the most impactful update on education news, especially for, just our industry, which is really, during our workday, we have a lot going on, and it's time to know what's going on around the country and what decisions are happening, what other leaders are doing. It's just kind of tough to do. So I want to be able to synthesize and curate high quality educational news for people. Now, my goal is to now start doing kind of, ideally daily videos and kind of giving a synopsis of what's happening. So this is my attempt to do that. So let's go ahead and dive in. And the first thing we're going to talk about is Chicago public schools. Kind of been in the national news because their teacher union voted, voting members, 73% of them voted to keep virtual learning and to postpone in person to January 18th unless the kind of surge subsides or different kind of safety measures are put in place. And so they're going on their third run of not coming back in person. But I just want to hit the Chicago Tribune article where the CEO, Pedro Martinez, announced that they're going to keep it closed, but they also shared some of their Tuesday cases, which I think is interesting. So let's go ahead and move over to that, and then we're going to slide to everything else. Let me find it for you. So the part of this, there it goes, right here. So if I really want to hit what I want you to see in this article that I thought was important was just, and this is probably what's happening to a lot of us, right? You're seeing once you start testing, it'd be interesting to know those schools who are back. CPS reported record new daily cases numbers on Tuesday, 422 students and 274 adults. That was part of the first data to emerge from the 2 days of schools that took place after the 2-week winter break and before the cancellations. So you can imagine what's kind of going on around the country if schools are in person. Those figures are double the number of cases CPS was reporting when students and staff members started their holiday vaccination last month. So we're going to see the continuation of that story and what kind of happens next. So where we're going to go to next too is an article in The Economist that I think, at the end of the day, the goal is just to share stories and what's kind of happening. And so what I thought about this is it was just research showing that districts with the most virtual schooling had the biggest drop in scores. Now, test scores and it wasn't the priority, right, this last year because, safety was. And so this, I'm not trying to get into a debate. I just think when you can see research that has been done that is showing the power of in-person, that's just good insights to have. And so a little bit about the article, it was a recent paper that was done by, let me go ahead and get you zoomed in so you can read it with me, done by the National Bureau of Economic Research. And they were looking at the results of standardized tests taken by children in grades 3 through 8. The tests varied slightly between states, assessed pupils' grasp of math and English. The research examined 12 total states, and they found that there was a 14% drop-off in math and 6 points in English when you compared 2019 state tests to 2021 state tests. They also kind of dived in, they're kind of concluded in their research that when you control for all other factors, right, free, reduced, lunched, ethnicity, those kind of things, when you reduce everything, what they found that the amount of in-person schooling in given school district had a big impact on pass rates. The results suggested that moving from fully virtual to fully in-person lessons counteracted the drop in scores by around 10 percentage points for math and just over 3 percentage points for English. And that is controlling for all other factors. The 3 percentage points is still big, but compared to the 10 points in math, it kind of gives me like there's so much hands-on that needs to happen for math. And it also just kind of continue to kind of hit points about the impact on Black and Hispanic children who it showed here a school district where 25% of students were Black spent on average 10 more weeks in the classroom than one where 3/4 of students were Black. So that is kind of, I think what you can see this also impacted students of color. So let's keep going and diving into other news. Other big news here I thought was big. This week, Michigan schools are hiring hundreds of mental health staffers. They got the governor support, and they're looking to hire 562 mental health and physical health professionals. I would be interested to know the breakdown and the percentages because physical health professionals have always been, a class that's been funded, but mental health has never been supported as much as PE. So let's see kind of that breakdown. I'd be interested to know, but it's coming out of the 17.1 billion state K12 budget. And the school districts, this is just the part that I thought was important, school districts have the March 1st to hire staff to be eligible to apply for grants to fully fund these positions with state money. Alrighty, so the other piece here is Los Angeles, LA Unified, the state is looking to provide, start thinking about funding not on a daily attendance, but on yearly attendance. And this benefits... the reason why they're thinking of this, it benefits bigger school districts like Los Angeles Unified School District, who also has to deal with a lot of low-income students or high-risk students who just have a higher rate of absences. And so when you do it by a daily account, you're really impacting the schools that need the resources the most. So that is kind of the idea there. And, the conversations, they're talking about it, if kind of this goes and things are happening that way, they're talking about this happening in 23 to 24. So the bill would go into effect 23 and 24 school year. Would be pretty powerful stuff. Now let's go to the last piece, and this is kind of what I wanted to close with, mainly because I kind of talked about how student loans impact Black Americans, and I think the cost of higher education has really made a move for just the skilled trades making a comeback. And so a Washington Post article kind of really talked about this and just kind of showed some data that I thought was interesting around, if I can find it here, the number of students who was looking for post-secondary but is now seriously considering going to trade school instead of higher education. And I thought it was a big number enough to bring it up and talk through it. You also had, it's showing that enrollment in technical colleges were going up. Places like Utah, South Dakota, where South Dakota Lake Area Technical College saw an 8.1% increase in first-year students over the previous year. So, community college numbers going down, higher ed numbers going down. But, hey, you're seeing a growth in the interest in trade schools. There it is. I really wanted to find this data point for you. This showed that one trend reviving interest in education and trade appears to be growing. Let me get this zoomed. To be growing, doubt among high school students and those changing careers about the value of a four-year college degree. The proportion of high schoolers who are considering a four-year education has plummeted from 71% to 48% since the start of the coronavirus pandemic, according to a survey by the ECMC Group, which is a nonprofit group that helps the loan guarantee agency that also operates career schools. So you could argue, maybe a little biased, but all in all, like big numbers. So, so that's it, team. That is it. So let's kind of wrap up there. We're saying, hey, this is kind of what I'm looking at doing now, as well as how do I provide you news daily and just kind of synopsis what's kind of happening throughout the country. Thank you for watching Ed News. Hope you enjoyed it.